episode of Talk That. Yay!
I'm Natalie.
I'm Amanda.
And we are K-junkies.
We are K-junkies. Yay! If you've noticed, I'd be very surprised. But this episode is actually late. We try to aim for like the last week of the month, but like the end of September was so chaotic for us that we literally could not squeeze in a filming time for this. So I guess October might have two podcasts.
Wow.
2 podcast episodes.
We're trying our best.
Yeah, we really are. It's hard out here.
Also, please excuse my voice. It's not in the best condition right now. I'm a little sicky. So if I crack or anything, just laugh.
Yeah, so, Natalie's doing a podcast with a screwed up voice. So that's pretty ironic, but enjoy. So, we're going to jump right into the topics that we usually cover, which is like recent adventures we've done, K-pop news, albums, and then we're going to throw in a little segment, a little something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you want to start with, Nat?
I guess we should always just start with our personal adventure. Oh my God, my voice sucks. So September, as we said, was very chaotic for us. We did a lot of things in September, honestly. We went to 2 concerts in September. And the first one we're going to talk about is Dreamcatcher, who came in Orlando.
Yeah. So Dreamcatcher's been to Orlando before. But the time that they came last time was during a convention that we go to in December. So I was like, well, I'm not going to leave the convention to go to this concert. So I couldn't go to it. And I was very sad. And I was like, I'm never going to see Dreamcatcher. But yay, they came to Orlando this time around. And I was like, okay, we are going.
Yes. No matter what.
Yeah. And, I really love Dreamcatcher. So it was very, very nice to finally like see them in their own concert. And it was such a very personal, intimate show.
It was crazy because the ticket wars was kind of hard because the venue themselves had their own ticketing site. And when I had bought the tickets, I was like, okay, we're gonna be a little in the back, it's okay, whatever. But when we got to the venue, we were actually very close.
Yeah,
closer than we expected. We sat in our seats and we were like,
yeah, how the people who are helping you, they tell you where to go or whatever, and they're like, okay, you're gonna go that way, you're gonna go down the stairs. I was like, down the stairs? We're going even closer? No. I was like, we're already very close. And then, we were I think realistically in, what was it, the 11th row?
I think so, yeah.
Which is actually pretty close.
In that venue, yeah.
It is a very small venue. It's a very small venue.
Nice.
So any seat you were in was probably very good. So it was really nice to be able to have a good view without having to try so hard.
And it was just a great concert overall. They had a lot of energy. Obviously, they have their awesome title tracks and amazing B-sides. And one thing that you can always count on Dreamcatcher is how gay they are with each other.
Yeah.
And that's not overstating. No, they gay. The amount of just them all over each other, it was they were feeding us.
I never thought in my time as a K-pop fan, as a Dreamcatcher fan, I didn't know, obviously in recent years, this has been a known thing. But from the beginning, I didn't think, oh yeah, Dreamcatcher are definitely going to be they're low key, very sexy and just dancing all over each other and just doing very gay things with each other. And I was I just feel like there's so much potential for different concept, a sexy concept from them. Yeah. And I'm waiting for it.
A rock sexy,
I guess.
They could slip that in through. But yeah, they definitely have really sexy vibes and they all did amazing. And it was great to finally see them in a standalone concert because we had only seen them once at KCON.
Kind of.
And that was 1 or 2 songs and that's it.
Honestly don't even remember. I know they did You and I at KCON.
They did Good Night too, no?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember. Also, Amanda cried when they did Fly High.
Oh yeah.
She cried.
I cried when the concert started.
Yes.
They opened with Scream.
Oh,
and I started crying. So I was like, oh shit, this is happening, And then they did Fly High. And it was it took a while for me to register the song. And I was just there
oh my God, it's Fly High.
And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was great. It was great when they threw it back to Fly High and they had Boca and they had Good Night.
Oh my God, Boca.
And some of their really good B-sides Jazz Bar. That is the gay song.
Oh, apparently.
Then they it was an EDM club at the end because they Ajuniced
yes
us because they would do a club section and then be all right, and then it would come back and they'd be like, all right, one more time. And then and I was like,
it went on for a while.
when are we going home?
And I'm like, oh, they're just nicing us right now.
Yeah, so overall, a great concert.
Yes, very, very nice.
And then the other concert we went to, of course, on my accord, that I just roped Amanda in, and our good friend Danny. We went to Triple S Lovelution in Atlanta for their Authentic tour. And that was the first stop. And boy, was that quite the journey. We road tripped to Atlanta. And if you follow my Twitter, my Kim Yoo-yeon feed fan account, I kind of made like a thread of the road trip. So some of y'all might know that my car like had a car issue. My splash guard broke and I was going to cry because I had the benefits and I had to check in from 4 to 5 and we were driving the day of the concert. And it's a 9-hour drive from Miami to Atlanta. So I was like, oh my God, but thank God I had Amanda and our friend Danny with us because they came through and we made it. We made it to the hotel, changed. It was a 5-minute drive to the venue. I checked in. Everything was good. Speaking of small venues, that was an even smaller venue.
Yes, very intimate setting.
Intimate
like,
setting.
Wow. I've never been to like a K-pop show that's this small. I know a lot of groups have come actually to Florida. I've done really small shows like that, and I've just seen videos of them, and I'm like, wow, that looks really small. Well, I finally got to experience one. It's like the type where it's foldable chairs, and they have like a cloth background. But yeah, we walked in, and I was like, oh my God, it's so small.
Yeah, like we went to the merch area first because since it wasn't paid, like you didn't have to like rush there, you know? And then we got in our seats and it was, you know, it was a good view. It was a small venue. I would have loved front row, but I got gypped of that because whatever, my music taste. But it was really nice. And then they finally started and it was like wholesome, like the whole concert. Yeah. It was like, you know, because it was their first like US stop in general, first thing for Triple S as a concert, and they were just vibing. It was like they did a lot of their songs,
yeah, especially
from like the Assemble album. They did Generation, they did Cherry Talk, so they basically did everything that you probably would want to see them do live, like all their main songs people would know. And the girls were just fantastic. They were so funny, and they were reading the stuff, but they would obviously mess up, and they were just kind of. It was kind of wholesome because they were just trying their best to talk. And I had a great time. The concert, I cried as well.
She did.
When they did Colorful in the encore, I was like, oh my God, I love this song.
Like, even though, like, you want to say, like, oh, I roped Amanda in. Obviously, like, you know, I went for a good time. And I had a good time. Like, I do like going to concerts and just kind of, like, getting to know the members at the concert and stuff. And I really enjoyed how casual they were. And nothing felt forced. Even though if they had to read, it felt very natural. And they definitely would add in their own things. And sometimes they would say things that I feel like idols don't say, which I know you have mentioned that Triple S are very like open and blunt. So I really enjoyed that. And all the girls were very likable. I left liking more than one girl. Like I came in having like a bias and then I left having a different bias. Like, you know what I mean? So like they're all very enjoyable and like I look forward to like Evolution coming and having maybe like the same experience. And they're all really pretty. Oh
they all, God. Yeah. Triple S is full of visuals.
I felt like I've never seen such a well-rounded, like, I don't know.
And we have like 16 members right now waiting for the 8 to come through. Speaking of the concert too, my benefits.
Yes.
Wow. So everyone who's done a K-pop concert and has done a high touch or like they have bought the VIP meet and greet package knows that when you do a high touch, it's just bam, bam, bam. The staff usually is like, hurry the fuck up. And you know, you can't film or whatever. So we're standing there. I'm like chilling with my phone at 17%, talking to some dude. And then the staff, first they tell us like, yeah, no filming. You guys, you know, high touch, then group picture. We're like, all right, chill, whatever, basic. Then I believe it's a Mod House staff that comes out of nowhere. And he's like, the girls had such a good time. Like they had so much fun. You know, you guys can do whatever you want. Like, you guys can film and take your time, like really talk to them and look them in the eyes and just talk to them. And we were like, I wasn't prepared for that.
Look them in the eyes.
Fan signs, I feel like people usually have notes ready, like to give to the idols. I was like, wait, I have to talk. Like I have to actually talk to them. It's not just I love you and that's it. So I was nervous as hell. And then when it was my turn, you know, it was just, they're all very sweet. Like for me, it didn't feel awkward. Like they were all very sweet, very smiley. Like they wanted to talk. They were like, "Oh, did you enjoy? Like you had fun?" If you go on my Kim Yoon Feed account, I have the pictures I took with the girls and the videos I took with the girls, and people were like, "What the fuck? How did you do that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. They just let us." I honestly haven't seen the same energy at other stops, so I don't know if people have filmed, but I don't know if people did what I did, which was like pictures, unless they didn't take the chance. I just took the chance because I was like, when am I ever gonna be able to do this with idols? Yeah. But they're very sweet. They didn't mind how close you got to them. They were very kind. And that was definitely worth the 9 hours and the pain I went through. So overall, as much of a mess sometimes as my music taste is, this was definitely one of the most memorable concert experiences I ever had. And I would definitely do it again, which for sure I'll do it for Evolution. So definitely, even if you don't know Triple S, I would definitely recommend like watching them.
Also, a side note, like I've never, in all my years of K-pop, guys, and the amount of K-pop concerts we have gone to,
a lot.
I have never experienced so many fanboys in one room. There's a lot of fangirls in K-pop. Sometimes you got a good mix of both, but holy shit. Triple S has so many fanboys, and it's like, it's not the type of fanboys you expect, like, you know, because there's like, you know, our gay fanboys, our girly pops, and girly pops. Was these were just like, it looked like I was at an anime convention. It was just boys in
the wave Twitter fandom. That's a really big discourse right now. Is the male fandom, and I don't want to say too much on it, but you know, people do make assumptions that are kind of mean. Because just because guys look a certain way doesn't mean they're all creepy. You should be careful, but at the same time, not assume and be mean online, you know?
No, yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to say they're weirdos. It was an observation, and I was like, this is so new to me. I was
also like, oh, this is interesting. New to me. But that is a major discourse in the fandom. Well, we'll just leave it at that because, you know, whatever. But I mean, overall,
it makes me wonder what is it about a certain group that pulls in either fanboys, fangirls, straight fans, gay fans, like it's honestly types. Like it's really interesting.
It's interesting. It was really interesting. But yeah, that was our personal adventures
for K-pop
of September. Very, very a lot of stuff.
Because besides that, we did go to another concert the same week.
Yeah, but that
was Triple S, but it wasn't a K-pop concert.
All Time Low. We were at my pop punk.
We went to All Time Low in Orlando, and then the next day we went to Halloween Horror Nights in Universal. So it was a chaotic week. I think
that's why my voice is
definitely like it was a chaotic week. And the day before we left for Triple S, we filmed a dance cover.
Yes,
so it was like insane. If you're listening to this, go watch our Baggy Jeans dance cover.
So moving along to K-pop news. We need like a news sound.
We need like just a bunch of different jingles.
I feel like September had a lot of things. I tried to just condense like maybe more main things to talk about because there was other things that happened in September. But one of the biggest things that has been talked about even before September is the Blackpink contract renewal.
No, we're still talking about this. I think we talked about this in our first episode.
I think we did. But there's just more like rumors.
Yeah.
More of like, oh, like Lisa not giving into like the bajillion-dollar like renewal they're trying to give. Also like the rumors of Jennie and Jisoo starting their own independent labels. And what's crazy is that every rumor that comes out, YG stocks drop. Every rumor, because Blackpink.
That's why
Blackpink is so important to the foundation of YG. We just saw that G-Dragon left YG completely and is in Warner Music.
But that's why YG's like, stop saying
that's
things.
Why they do. That's why their damage control is so fast, because they're like, holy shit, like stop assuming things. And I mean, I don't blame them, like, because Treasure is just kind of there. You know, Treasure makes money, but they're not Blackpink.
No.
And then they have what, like Akmu, which Akmu's killing it digitally. But like, what other groups do they have? And then Baby Monster got delayed.
Right.
Because apparently YG, like old CEO, like he's going through some like trial right now. And people think that's the reason why Baby Monster's being delayed. So like, essentially, like what other groups does YG have? They don't really have much left. Icon left. Winners in Military. Winners just nowhere to be seen right now.
Yeah.
So Blackpink has kind of been keeping YG afloat as like a top company just because of Blackpink. So if they lose Blackpink in any sense, like even individually, like it'll hurt them. So it's just crazy to see how many rumors are flying and people. It's just kind of like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
I think honestly, even with if the other boy groups were like active, I mean, I know Treasure's active, but even if like Winner was active, or even if Icon was there, Blackpink was still keeping them afloat, regardless. I do think that Baby Monster will bring in another influx whenever it happens, because people just kind of just jump on anything YG debuts.
They do.
I think especially like the girl groups just tend to
just really good,
off.
yeah.
So I think they're probably scrambling to get Baby Monster out.
They're shaking in their boots because I mean, either way, like Blackpink leaves or like whatever individually, like it will definitely hurt them. So I guess we'll see when, you know, those the breaking news and the confirmations actually come out.
I wish the rumors would stop too, because I'm fucking tired of seeing a different article about it every day. Like, I just want to know what happens when it happens, but like, I'm just like tired of the Blackpink this, Blackpink that.
The rumor mill.
Like, shut up.
That's how those news sites get their clicks, man. The rumors. Speaking of also contracts, possible Kepler contract extension, which if it does happen will be the first time for a temp group to, I think, extend their contracts.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it could be possible because people have talked about it, how Kepler isn't like IZ*ONE, where IZ*ONE had really popular individual members. Like Kepler all individually aren't like insanely popular, where like the companies could just want them for their own groups. So I think it's possible. The only thing people are a little wary about is that 143 Entertainment does have Limelight, and it's clear that Mashiro and Yeso are supposed to be in there. So who knows? I think still they might be able to work with Kepler because Limelight's supposed to be like unlimited members.
Yeah.
So they could still add more members and Mashiro and Yeso maybe stay longer in Kepler.
Or they take them out of Kepler once the contracts.
But it wouldn't be the same.
Once the original contract goes up, they would probably take them out.
Or they could be Kepler and Limelight.
I mean, maybe.
It's like L's up. Like maybe if they pull little L's up where they
yeah, but L's up they're not even promoting separately. Like it made no sense that 3 groups were having a comeback at the same time as L's up. That's very true. That made no sense.
I think the companies were scrambling to like utilize whatever.
But it doesn't work if they're not there.
I mean, Yeonhee was doing Rocket Punch and L's Up lives at the same time.
Well, she's a Slayer, I guess.
She is a Slayer. Yuki, Yuki wasn't, but
are you saying Yuki's not a Slayer?
She's a Slayer. She just wasn't doing both. Oh, and Huiso.
Yes.
Which she was also doing like high key lives. But yeah, I would like to see Kepler extend the contract, especially for the members that might not have something to go back to like immediately. I think like especially Yujin, I feel like she's just shines so much in Kepler that I would love to see her more in it. And my girl Xiaoting, would like to see more of her. So hopefully she does join a group after Kepler, but we'll see what happens with that. Another thing that I thought was interesting in the K-pop sphere of news, going back to Blackpink, Lisa actually performed in a cabaret show called Crazy Horse in Paris, and that became a really big topic because the cabaret is kind of like a strip show, I believe,
like
a strip club per se, but kind of burlesque-y, I think. And that obviously was, big talk because idols don't really do that. Like that's not their image. So I know there was some netizens, like Korean netizens, that were like not for it. They're kind of like, but honestly, more power to her. Like the pictures she posted today, I was like,
oh, I didn't see them.
Oh yeah, oh, she looks fan-fucking-tastic. I was like, look at that ass.
I mean, I feel like if netizens don't know by now that Blackpink are not your typical idol group, then they're just too far gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Blackpink is very much like a type of group that doesn't really give a fuck.
No, I mean they're a YG group, first of all. Yeah. Like that's that's literally the vibes that YG trains you with is don't give a shit. You're a bad bitch. Yeah. Blah blah blah. But like since Blackpink is globally at a whole other level than like any K-pop group has ever achieved, especially a girl group. They kind of just do whatever the fuck they want. I mean, like Jennie's been in like controversial things too, or controversial, not really, but like in Korea's standard. But like, this is not something I don't expect from a
like,
Blackpink
like
member.
Jennie is a Calvin Klein, like ads were very showy too.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like I'm just kind of here, like they're adults, you know, like Lisa, if she wants to do what she wants to do, especially at this point of their careers, they've already been a group for like 7 years or so. It's like,
I mean, honestly, some of their stage outfits are no different than whatever she was wearing at that cabaret show, honestly.
The cabaret show was definitely a little like more showy, but
I feel like like every like show, every concert that they do, their outfits get like shorter and shorter,
especially in America, obviously.
So I'm just like, I'm not surprised.
Obviously, for us international fans, we're kind of like, you know, you do you.
Mm-hmm.
You do your thing, and if it makes you happy, then go crazy. All the members went as well to support her, so you know, just stop hating. Just she's got a nice body and she wants to dance and show it off and have fun. So you go, girl. SF9 is now SF8.
No, don't talk to me.
So Rowoon is halting group activities.
It's always the fucking actors
for acting. And, you know, everyone on Twitter was, you know, the acting disease.
Acting curse.
Acting-itis. I don't know. You know, it's kind of a fear in K-pop fandoms and stuff where, like, when you have that one member that it becomes, like, a really big actor, you think they're going to leave the group for acting. I mean, that was a scare for EXO fans for a bit with Kyungsu. So it really sucked to see SF9 going through it. I kind of understand Rowoon. He's really popular in acting. And this man has some pretty bad like back injury.
Yes.
That kind of halts him from dancing.
That I can understand. I feel like if I was an idol, I would not be an idol.
You'd be like, if you had like a really bad back,
I would have had like a 1-year career and then I would be like, oh, can't do this anymore.
So, but it still sucks. Like, I wish it could have like worked out differently. And this is why also a really great example is why you don't name your fucking groups after numbers.
Yes.
Because what is it now? Like SF9 is the 8 members plus the fandom.
No. You know what they did though to try to keep the 9? Because they're saying like Rowan didn't leave.
He's just halting.
He's on this indefinite hiatus.
No, guys, he left.
So that's how they keep the 9 in there. Like, no, he's still part of the group.
They're gonna say that it's 8 plus the fandom.
No, yeah, that's always like your first thing that you could do is, oh, it's the amount of members plus the fandom. So used to, but so once you lose more than 1 member, it's over.
But yeah, hopefully maybe Rowan will surprise us and come back for like a song. He'll be like Heechul.
We'll see.
He'll just be in the music video. That's it.
It's not like SF9's that active.
That's true.
And they're starting to go through the military stuff. So don't know how long.
At least give us a Taeyang solo.
That'd be nice.
FNC. And the last thing on our list of news that this one was pretty big happened towards the ending of September. Key and Taemin in controversy for colorist remarks towards Minho, essentially stating, you know, that he's tan, he's dark, they can't see him. All I gotta say is, you think by now in 2023 that idols would know not to comment shit about skin color.
It's just so dumb. Like the way you just explained it, I'm like, oh my god. Like, and I think the part that really bothers me, not besides the obvious fact that like it's 2023 and like we're so past this, especially in K-pop. The other thing is that not only is that SHINee doesn't really get into controversies like this, so I'm just like, oh man, but also like Key and Taemin are full adult. Like, what the fuck, guys? This is not even like oh, you have no idea, education, this, that, whatever. Like, they are adults. They should fucking know this shit. Like, they're adults. They're not like, I'm 20 years old, I'm an adult. They're 30s. Come on.
But like, they've been global stars for so long.
Yeah.
And they should know by now that like things like with that is just sensitive. Like, you can't be making those and Minho's like tan. They're dramatic.
The boy ain't even that
when
dark.
Like, I can't see you. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Hello?
He's a little tanner than the other members. But it was just silly. Like, I'm glad that they apologized because SM also has a terrible track record of actually apologizing for any controversies that they've ever done. So I'm glad that they apologized. And even though it was funny because some Korean netizens were like, oh, well, why did they have to apologize? It's not a big deal. Like, that's like, it's stupid. It's like, no, but they're global stars. Like, they need to apologize because they do have fans that are dark. They have fans that are international fans of all different types of skin colors. of course they have to apologize. I'm glad that they did, and I'm hoping that they learned their lesson. It's like, hey, maybe don't make colorist remarks. You know, they've been friends for a long time. Yeah. I'm sure, you know, when people joke with their friends, they say, but it's like, there's just things not to be said, things not to say it, especially appearance wise. Just don't. So that's just my stance. They should know better, and they've been global idols, global stars for a long time. They should already know that that's not how you behave.
So after we talk about our personal adventures and our news, we want to throw in something that we actually do at conventions pretty often. It's called K-pop Roundtable. We have like a box and paper and pens, and people write down K-pop opinions. It could be controversial, it could be unpopular opinions, it could be positive, it could be a positive thing, or it could just be like a general statement that they
want to make.
They want to make. So we put up a form on our YouTube channel and our Instagram, and we got some
responses.
That we want to just go through and discuss for this part of the podcast.
Obviously some will talk more like in depth, some will just kind of maybe brisk because we don't want to go into too long. Yeah. But it'll be interesting. So let's see what people wrote. So first one states, not into fan wars, but I don't see how Blackpink is anywhere near Twice. Twice has 10 times the content, yet aren't recognized or appreciated. Blackpink has YouTube views, but that's it. It's a joke, honestly.
Mind you, these are all anonymous.
These are anonymous, also. Yes. So we don't know who wrote this.
This is an interesting one, considering we were just talking about Blackpink. I will say I can agree to an extent. I have always been a firm believer that YG artists are handed popularity on a silver platter. Literally YG releases anything and people are like, oh my god,
even if it's questionable.
It is a little sad and like kind of unfair that like Blackpink has probably I don't even know how much of a percentage of album content compared to Twice. But they're, you know, global stars and this, that, whatever. I mean, Blackpink definitely has, I think, more of an image that people all around the world can like vibe with compared to Twice. Twice is definitely much more K-pop. Like, you know, and it's like, I think people get intimidated by a lot of members of groups. So when they see fucking like 9 girls, they're like, oh, that's too much.
Not that's Blackpink has easy names to remember.
Yes, like their names are not.
They're all basically English names besides Jisoo.
Yeah, but that's like an easy name. Yeah, and they all speak English for the most part. Like even Jisoo can like manage if she's gotta, or like she can like
improved a lot.
She has, and she can like understand and stuff. So I think it's more like people just gravitate more to Blackpink because of those reasonings. But yeah, of course, Twice has much more to offer music wise.
Like obviously in content wise, Blackpink isn't anywhere near Twice because Twice just like literally pops out albums like and Japanese releases like none of their business. But it's hard to compare because Blackpink is more appealing to the global fan base, and that's why they just have so many YouTube views. And you know, it's just the formula that YG has always done kind of right. You know, they've always somehow appealed to the international fan base a lot because of the style of music. So it is what it is. Twice is still appreciated a lot. I feel.
No, obviously Twice is huge.
Their stadium, they sold out stadiums.
They're one of the biggest girl groups in the world, regardless. But it's just one of those things where like it is what it is. Like
it is what it is.
It's just how. Yeah. It's just what people like.
You can't be mad about it.
You can't be mad about it. Point. It's like at the end of the day, Twice is just more on the K-pop like standard, whereas Blackpink is more on the global standard.
So that's our 2 cents on that. The whole Chaeyoung situation. I saw a video of her at the concert in Germany during her solo. I could tell she felt really bad. People need to get over it. I've seen recent comments on posts about her saying, I can't believe she's still in the group. Like it happened and it's over now. There's been worse idols. She's already apologized. So yes, if some people don't remember, the Chaeyoung scandal was that she wore a t-shirt that had the swastika. And people were like, you know, what the fuck? She should have known better. Obviously, there was the whole discourse of like, oh, Korean education. And people are like, no, they're idol stars. They should know. Blah, blah, blah. Chaeyoung's my Twice bias.
Yes.
And when that happened, I was like, oh, girl, are you kidding me? Like, there's just some things that I really don't know. Like, I hate to be like, oh, it's, you know, the Korean education, but like, do they really just not know? Because it's just, I saw Korean comments of some people being like, no, we know, like Koreans, like, no, she should know. But I do agree that people do go far with like death threats or the insult. It's like, it's good to educate your idol without having to bully them. But if it's something that she did that she knows it's wrong, she apologized, and we educated her, I don't think, you know, people should send her death threats or like remove her from the group from that incident. If it's a constant incident from her, yes, obviously at that
She's
point,
just going out wearing a swastika over and over again.
You know, that's like, okay, she needs to fucking go. But if it was like this and she learned and she feels bad about it and she knows, then I feel like you can't fight fire with fire.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
I mean, it's always like that. I just want to make a general note that I think people need to like start understanding that idols, just because they're idols doesn't mean they're not dumb.
Yes, that's true.
There, even over here where that type of history is well known, there are so many people who don't know basic history.
No,
they don't know. They make dumb comments.
Yeah.
They don't know things that people should know. General knowledge. People are dumb. People are ignorant. And like sometimes you just gotta accept that maybe your bias is ignorant,
is kind of,
or doesn't know things or whatever. Just because they're a celebrity doesn't mean that they're well educated.
And we should know that. I mean, with America,
that's with any
our
celebrity. Like
definitely.
they make dumb comments here and there. And you're like, wow, you don't even know it. It's like when you go on those TikToks of the guy running around the street and asking people basic like knowledge questions, and they don't know. I'm just like, wow, people really don't know these things. Like it's just in general, just something to keep in mind. I'm not saying that like it's excusing her because maybe she's an idiot or she doesn't know or something. I'm not saying that.
It's not excusable.
But it's just like you do have to sometimes accept the fact that your idol might actually not know.
Not smart. They don't make smart decisions. Clearly, like when we talked about the Key and Minho and Taemin. Yeah, they don't make smart decisions.
You know, even us as human beings, like you could be like, wow, I can't believe this person did that. Like, how do you not know that? I'm sure you make dumb mistakes every day too, that other people will be like, wow, how could you make that mistake? We are all human.
And that's why we educate.
We are all human at the end of the day.
That's why you educate people and you pray that they take it in and they don't commit, or that they don't think, you know, bad things. Yeah. They're not actually what people are accusing them of.
You learn every day.
Yeah. And hopefully, I'm sure she learned big time.
Oh, I'm sure she's still learning.
She better learn. I love the group Rocket Punch, especially when I found out Judy was going to be in the group. At the beginning, she would get lines and stuff, but the past two comebacks, she hasn't gotten a lot of lines. I think Judy is a great singer. I hope she gets more lines in the next comeback. I'm hoping that after Queendom Puzzle and like the love she got from Queendom Puzzle, that maybe Willem will give her more spotlight because she is a great person, funny, and she has a really unique vocal tone.
I love her.
I love her too. A group filled with all-rounders makes it so hard to remember anyone. None of the members for TXT and Hype and Stray Kids stand out to me except the English speakers. I still haven't learned the rest of the group's names. I honestly think it's because you don't care about the groups.
Yeah, I'm like, that sounds like a personal problem, honestly.
I don't think it's an all-rounder problem. That's just you don't care enough.
See how that has anything to do with being an all-rounder.
Me neither.
Like, no offense, I don't think those groups are all-rounders, like full of all-rounders. Yeah. So it's just more like you just haven't been enticed enough to learn the members. Like shit, I love Hypen's music. I don't fucking know the members, but it's because I don't care to learn, because they don't stand out to me individually, but that's not because they're all rounders. Yeah. They just don't stand out to me.
Same. I was gonna say, like, we know TXT and Stray Kids we learned at a concert because we went to their concert for free and we didn't really even know the members, so we left knowing them. But and Hypen too, like, I enjoy some of their music, like title track wise, but I don't really care enough about them as a group to learn the members. Yeah. So I don't think it's all rounder issue. I just think you don't care enough.
TXT I learned by accident.
Yeah. We learned boy groups by accident.
Yeah. So like I don't, this like reasoning personally doesn't make sense to me.
Personally to us. I mean, you know, for you.
But it's okay to like a group's music and not know the members too. So
if you're casual. I personally always wondered how the breakdown of K-pop generations worked. First gen, second gen, third gen, etc. I've been a K-pop fan ever since 2008, and I still get confused on how we as a fandom collectively agree on what gen we're in now in K-pop. Is it the type of sound? Is it the style? Or is it based on after a certain amount of years passed? I believe we're in 5th gen now due to groups like ZB1 and Kiss of Life. Just curious on what your opinions are on this. Love your videos, by the way. I've been a subscriber ever since 2015.
Hey, you've been there from the beginning. Thank you.
So it's funny because at cons we've done K-pop 101 where we've explained what the generation breakdowns are. I'm just gonna say, just to not go so deep into this topic because it could go long, it's a little confusing how they just kind of just said we're in 5th gen.
I don't
blame Mnet.
I don't care what anyone says. We are not in the 5th gen of K-pop yet. 4th gen did not last less than 5 years. That makes absolutely
so.
No, I don't care.
Apparently.
I don't give a shit. We've had this discussion about the generations for a very long time, and everything that this person said, like, is it sound? Is it number of years? It's a mixture of everything.
Yeah,
it is. It should be based on years, and then you see a shift in musical style
concepts
when you get to like the midpoint of each generation, and then it bleeds into the next gen, and then you're in the next gen.
I blame Mnet because when ZB1 was coming out, Mnet was like 5th gen, and we're like, what the fuck?
Absolutely not.
We're like 5th
no,
gen,
because they were trying to boost up the ZB1 name and be like, they're the boy group starting the 5th gen. And I'm like, you can't just make that up.
Do that
just because you want to be like, put ZB1 on this big old pedestal and be like, they're the start of 5th gen. Like, you can't just do that in the middle of fucking 2023 and call it a day.
I just kind of say like 5th, 4th gen because I can't really, like, I don't know.
If anything, we're like in the
4.5.
Yeah, maybe the 4.5. We're getting there, but it's not over.
But people are throwing 5th gen at this point. So
I don't care.
I've seen this happen on Stan Twitter. I'm a multi-stan. I truly dislike when people throw around the term misogyny just because someone doesn't ult a girl group. I feel like as long as someone isn't being disrespectful, they can bias whoever they want. Same goes for someone who doesn't stand boy groups. It's all someone's preference. Yeah, definitely if you don't ult a girl group, you're not like misogynistic.
This topic has always been very interesting to me because people do throw around like how, oh, it's weird that you're a girl and you ult boy groups, you're thirsting over them. Or why are you a lesbian but you like boy groups? Like, I've seen that. Yeah. That apparently if you like girls, females, like sexually, you can't like boy groups. But I'm like, at the end of the day, guys, I'm not a K-pop fan because I'm sexually attracted to the idols. Yeah, there's gonna be an idol here and there that I am physically attracted to, but that's not gonna determine what kind of groups I can like. Yeah. Just because of a gender. Like, that topic is so odd to me.
And like, yeah, obviously there's like really mean all girl group stands or all boy group stands. But yeah, just because you don't ult a girl group doesn't mean you're misogynistic, and then vice versa, you know, like just because you don't ult a boy group doesn't mean you hate like boys in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, Twitter is a very sensitive and fighting place. K-pop can be low-key toxic because of beauty standards, age standards, and judgmental netizens. And these factors can be harmful to the fans. I mean, yeah, like I'm 28 and I call myself a hag because in K-pop terms, like if you're 28 fandom wise and stuff, you're old.
Too old.
You're old. Like people are like, you can't. Why do you like this group? They're all young and you're 28.
I want to say this is not a low key toxic thing. This is a high key.
This is a high key toxic.
This is definitely
K-pop is high key toxic.
Beauty standards, ageism, like
judgmental
things like that. Yeah, it can be bad to the fans. And the beauty standards are like, for example, there's a lot of female idols who are very, very, very thin. And it's triggering for people who have like body issues.
Dysmorphia. If something does make you feel uncomfortable and uneasy, it's good to kind of just step away.
Yeah.
And take a break, especially from Twitter, Instagram, like social media, because people do get in your heads and like certain things could get in your head. Yeah. So I definitely say like take a break and just kind of like, you know, just try not to let things get to you, even though I know it's hard.
It's just unfortunately the price we pay getting into something that's like a whole other culture.
Not only that, but something that's like visual is very much the package. Like being young and beautiful is very much a main point.
What Korea like lives by. So like we as non-Koreans chose to be part of this fandom that is part of a culture that is like extremely different than what we're comfortable with or what we're used to. And
SM does a terrible job at promoting girl groups and just leaves them to dry like FX and soon to be Red Velvet. Sad face.
Yeah,
SM sucks. Point blank period. They do have a terrible. They just do terrible at promoting at times. Like they will hyper promote something like a group, and then once another group comes out and they're like, they're like, okay, let's push that away. Like, you know, Red Velvet is kind of just there. At least they're coming back, thank God. But SM just, they have so many groups that they kind of suck at managing like all of them somewhat equally. As an XOL, I know the pain.
I was gonna say, honestly, it's not just the girl groups.
No, it's not just the girl groups. They do that with the boy
all
groups,
their groups.
Yeah. It's just the SM life. Once you get in the SM
when you
stan
have
life.
a lot on your plate, it's just hard to it's hard to distribute everything evenly.
And it's frustrating as fans, obviously. So we just gotta truck on. The industry cares more about visuals than actual talent. Not saying K-pop idols aren't talented. I mean, yeah, kind of what we talked about earlier. The K-pop package, one of the main things is a visual. And honestly speaking, I'm gonna say this, fans are kind of hypocritical because they'll be like, oh, they only care about visuals, but then like, isn't that what you look for in a K-pop group?
Isn't being physically attracted to the idol like what a lot of people look for? Because I feel like people, like, they just, sometimes they stan a group because of how someone looks.
Well,
so it is hypocritical.
It is because it's also like the first thing that you look at when you see a group, even before their music comes out, is their visuals.
Yeah.
And as much as people want to act like they're not shallow, your eye catches to sometimes the most visually appealing member, and that kind of is what draws people to the group.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, does the industry care a lot about visuals? Of course, but like, that's just the industry.
That's
the
formula.
Industry in general. Yeah.
That's the formula, and it works. And so that's why they do it. So,
and it's not to say like that, but this is why K-pop flourishes with groups, because you have the super talented members that carry the group in certain aspects, and then you have the popular visual members that brings in the fandom, and when you put that together, it creates kind of like a super group.
The whole point of a group is to have a balance of different things, because if everyone is equally talented, then you're going to complain that
lines.
Why does this person not get more lines than this person if they're just as talented? You're never going to be happy at the end of the day.
Yeah. So my whole thing with the visuals thing is just like that's what K-pop is. That's what's been the formula forever, and it is what it is. Fandoms flourish through that. So it's kind of like, well, we like that too. We like visuals, don't we?
Yes.
You know?
I'm not going to deny it.
I like talent and visuals. Schumann was right. So what if you can dance? If you can't sing, then what's the point?
That's a funny one to follow, the one we just
talked about. It really is. So yeah, a whole discourse as well happened when Schumann stated like, oh, you know, it's cool if you can dance. If you dance, great, cool. But like, there's no point in being an idol if you can't sing. And he was absolutely right.
Because it's about the music at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, dancing is dancing, whatever. Like, but there's a lot of K-pop groups that get away with like very basic dancing. You know, if they can get by, they can get by. Honestly, when you watch the survival shows, the dancing is like the least impressive thing. Cause it's like, yeah, you're all getting by. Yeah. You're dancing. But the vocals where really, for me, it's really important.
For me, my tier in K-pop of what I care the most about is vocals, dance, and then rap. Like, rap is what I least care about, and then vocals is my number one, because a lot of my R-top groups in general are vocal heavy groups.
Yeah. That
maybe they're not like the most amazing dancers, but their voices are fantastic. And you know, Schumann has every right to say that, because one of the best vocal groups is EXO. Period. And they have some hard choreo as well. Yeah. What is the point if you can't sing?
What is the point?
Because then you hear them live and you're like, ew. There's two more. Being a good dancer doesn't make you a good dancer. Obviously, all idols can dance, some better than others. Not all idols have the it factor when it comes to dancing, and it shows, especially when they start doing challenges. Main example, the smoke challenge.
Oh boy.
That require that special something to make it look good. Not that it always looks bad, but sometimes it's just a little awkward. I don't know if this also falls into that, but I think we also sometimes forget that idols have choreographers that make the choreo literally for them. So it's also a little eye-opening seeing them do other dances that aren't catered to them, if that makes sense. Another main discourse, the smoke challenge. Woo, people have been ripping idols apart. It's become a competition of who can do it right and who does it really bad.
Or who does it good in their own style of dance.
I have like my own opinions about certain smoke challenges, but I will say that it sucks to judge idols specifically on that, because a smoke challenge Obviously, the original Bada Lee fucking absolutely kills it. It's her choreo, her style. She eats it up. She has a certain pow to it that like when you watch her, it's like, wow, that's a fucking dancer. And there's some idols that can also show that, and some idols that can't. And it's true, like just because you're like good doesn't mean you're like the it dancer. But I also think people are being kind of fucking mean about it, and like, you know, it's kind of like what Youngjoon from TXT said, like challenges are supposed to be fun. So when people start bashing each other and comparing, it doesn't become fun anymore. Because that's what he said. Like people want him to do it. And he's like, I don't know. I don't want to do it because I don't want to be compared to others. And it's true. Like
so real.
Again, I have my own opinions and I keep my opinions to myself about certain things.
Oh, you don't want to say it?
No.
But yeah, what they said about like how some groups have choreography like made for them, it is true because like some people are dancers and some people dance to get by as a K-pop idol because they have to blend in with the group.
Last one. A lot of groups like Gravity, Ace, and Blitzers need to be talked about more because they are honestly outdoing some of these more popular groups in every single way. That's a hard disagree on my behalf. Oh! Not being a hater. Hold on. Not being a hater, but I like Ace though.
I was gonna say out of the three, we like Ace. But Ace has not been around for a while, so that's like a weird, they're doing it better. And I'm like, where are they?
Yeah, they've kind of been like in the military, but I personally don't think Blitzers is that good.
I honestly don't even know who that is. And I know the name of the group.
We saw them on Peak Time. And I also don't really like Gravity's music that much either. I'm sorry.
Gravity, we've never been fans of Gravity. Honestly, KCON showed me that they didn't have anything to offer, but that was just me.
That's just KCON. Yeah.
We were just like, no one's really standing out to me. Yeah. There's no pow here.
And like personally, and this is my opinion, it might come off a little mean.
Oh boy.
But you can't tell me that a group with like My Turn and Gas Pedal is outdoing other groups.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
Honestly, I'm very disappointed they didn't do My Turn at KCON because that's such a joke song.
Groovy's cute and they're talented. I'm not saying they're not talented. They're definitely like their talent obviously probably is at the same tier as bigger groups. But musicality wise,
at the end of the day, it's the music.
Yeah, hard disagree on my behalf. Yeah, if you're a Gravity fan or Blitzer fan, like
so sorry.
More power to you. It's not to hate you. It's just I don't agree. Preference.
Yay.
Okay, so that wraps up Roundtable. I hope you guys enjoyed that section. I like talking about,
Yeah, and we'll definitely bring it back. So like make sure that you follow our YouTube, our Instagram, and our Coffee to like see when we put the link up for that.
Yes, give us more opinions.
Yeah.
And lastly, just to wrap up this pretty long talk, that some recent albums that we've been listening to.
Mm-hmm.
So Kyungsu's Expectations, Key's Good and Great album, Loossemble, and NCT's Golden Age. Are we SM stans? Yes. Not the company, but the groups.
Oh my god.
Expectations, that album exceeded my expectations.
Uh-huh.
I definitely think it's his best album after his debut album. And I feel like it's so solid overall. Like I've listened to it so many times. It's great. It's great.
It's very good.
Key, I know Key's
album.
Man,
Key, I love Key. When Key comes back, it's fucking Christmas for me. So Good and Great, I love that. It sucks we didn't get to react to Good and Great. Yeah, it came out at a really bad time for us, and we just never got to react to it. But honestly, Good and Great is one of my favorite songs of the year. And that album is solid from beginning to end. Every song is a fucking banger, and then the last song of the album is like the slower song, but it's still awesome. So like Key is
10 out of 10.
Great. Good and great.
Obviously, I listened to Loossemble, which is the other unit of Luna that came out after leaving Blockberry. And it still, for me, had like Luna-esque vibes, but it was definitely a different side. I really liked Real World and Utopia along with the title track. And I feel like Luna, even separated, their discography is great, like Artemis and Loossemble. And I'm excited for Heejin and Chu and hopefully Eve at some point and Hostel joining wherever. So yeah, solid for me. I absolutely loved it. And last is NCT Golden Age, which they had track videos, so we kind of saw that. The song that stood out to me from that album was Pado. I really like Pado a lot. NCT has questionable songs though. The Bat is a little questionable for me.
The Bat, bro.
What's the other one? Alley Oop. Not really the best.
The Kangaroo song.
Kangaroo's fun. I heard it again and it's fun. But Pado definitely. NCT albums are like a roller coaster sometimes.
We can't forget Song of the year, Baggy Jeans. That's a joke.
The ballad's great too. And last but not least, our song recommendations. What is your song rec?
Well, it's obviously from Key's album. I could have been basic and been like, oh, Key's cool as, but like since he's like that's like a B-side he's promoting, I'm going to and it's very popular. I'm gonna recommend Live Without You. It's one of the other bangers on the album. Very, very great song.
And then I obviously am recommending Lost by Kyungsoo from his new album. That song, when it started, when I first heard the album, I was like, this is the fucking song. So good. The acoustic version also fantastic. He gave us two of Lost. And honestly, I think it's one of my favorite Kyungsoo songs of all time. Lost. Like, so fucking good. All right. That wraps up our very lengthy personal Talk That podcast episode. Wow. I'm so glad that we got to do this, even though it's a little late.
Yeah. But thank you guys for listening to this episode. If you haven't yet, make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, kjunkies. And while you're at it, follow our Instagram, which is at k.junkies. We have a lot of conventions already lined up for next year.
Oh my gosh.
And we do post all about that on Instagram. So make sure to follow us there. Also, we have a coffee that you can join. We have 2 different tiers you can join. It offers video benefits. You can make requests for certain types of reactions, K countdowns, and some other stuff, and also some participation on the podcast as well. So make sure that you check out our coffee and join a tier to support us. Yes.
And thank you guys for listening, for watching, and look forward to more K-Junkies content on our channel and our podcast. Thank you guys so much. Bye.